Hey guys, I'm Dan.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Justin.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today we're looking at Nersha from Gobiko Games. We've covered this game quite a bit in the past, actually, because when we first covered Runes of Zun, we had a nice interview with one of the designers, Alex. He does the backstory writing and stuff, is what he was saying. He does a lot of specializes in. And then they teased Nersha. We were able to play Nersha on Tabletop Simulator, or one of those online board game systems, with Alex. And now we finally have the physical form. Nersha is a 1 to 2 player game. It says it plays in 20 minutes here on the box. That completely depends on the players. I'd say usually faster than that.
Yeah, especially depending on the map too.
Right, yes, because the map, as you can see, is modular. But this is a abstract strategy game, in the vein of like a chess checkers kind of thing. But the point of this one is Nersha, right? Hinting towards inertia. Because once you move a piece, it keeps sliding until it interacts with something that would stop it. So we have actually every special piece we can on the board here, so I guess I might as well run them down for you really quick. Blank just means it keeps sliding. A mountain is basically, just think of it as an end cap, right? You can't pass it, you just stop when you hit it. A forest you stop inside of when you hit it. This is the only bad piece in the game. If you ever have to slide onto this, your piece goes in the sinkhole and is out of the game. It is killed. These are portals. If you slide onto it, you can choose to teleport as long as there is another open portal in the game, and there can be more than just 2 portals on the board. But you can choose to teleport, and then your next turn would take place from there. Also, if you start your turn on a portal, you can choose to teleport as your turn instead. And the point is, you're trying to get your pieces from your side into the opposing team's houses, right? But that is the game. When you move a piece, you then capstone it, meaning that on your next turn, you can move any piece except for the one you moved last turn. That's what these capstones are for. There are plenty of these nice pieces in this game, so you can make the board as big as you want, because again, while the rule book, Bob, did you take the rule book? Justin took the rule book. While the rule book has like literally, I don't even know, so many suggestions for maps
at least
in this
8 or 10
game
or
here.
something.
Yeah. Also, like when we were playing a designer, he said just design a crazy map. As long as it's, semi-symmetrical or balanced, it'll be fine. Like you can tell by looking at it, yes, that's fair. You can tell pretty easily.
Don't line all these trees up in front of your area so
Yeah.
you can't get in.
But yeah, so that's all the tiles, and that is how you play the 2-player game of Nersha. Justin, you just played for the first time. What was your takeaway?
I really liked the creativity of it and how modular, how there's so many different little mini maps that they give you options for. Do you mind if I share one downside? That
Of
I think
course.
it? At least
Speak your mind.
the one downside I thought of the map that we played specifically, I didn't feel like there were many
Room to move.
Yeah, there wasn't much room to move, so it could get very stagnant, congested quickly with your pieces to my piece, and then it's just whoever's turn it is, they're gonna end up having to move, and then the other person has a right
I only
away.
have a room to get in there. Yeah.
So
That's kind of how I beat Dan, though. I forced him to make a move that he really didn't
Exactly.
want to, and then I was able to get in there to...
Sure.
So then, but then, yeah, like what you said, then that's kind of the premise of the game.
Right.
It's just calculating your moves ahead of time so that you can beat your opponent.
Sure. Bob, anything to add here about your experience other than I like the game because I won?
Yeah, so it's going to get the automatic half-point bump for that. I really enjoyed it. I think a bigger map would be cooler. Them tiles sliding around was a little bit, annoying. We were, like you were saying, it, felt like we were picking up and moving it more than the sliding. We thought of maybe some fixes you could do with a piece of laminate or something to put over the top to kind of keep things from sliding around so much. But it's cool that it's such a small box that it's easy to take, wherever you want to take it. I would enjoy, I think, making some customizable maps with some different, points of interest everywhere. I dig that. I like the sinkholes.
Yeah, there's not too many of them in the game, but that's because they are powerful.
They're bad. You need to get 3 to win, and you lose, too many. Well, now you can't win.
I believe there are only 3.
It looks like it.
Some of them are double-sided.
Yes, some are, but most of them have an empty side on the other side, I believe. I haven't looked at every tile since we have the physical version yet.
But no, I enjoyed it though. I think it's a neat abstract, and it is almost like a checkers, right? Where you're trying to force your opponent to move that one move where he has to move, and then you can jump him 3 times. Yeah. So
I agree with most things they've said. Like Bob was getting to, my biggest negative for the game is just that the whole point of the game that makes it so interesting is the sliding pieces. And with this tile system, it just doesn't always work. You feel like, it does work, but you feel uneasy sometimes, that you're going to catch something and mess up the board or something like that, right? It is a game that works slightly better in a digital form. But still 100% works here. And like I said, I would just, I have see-through laminate and stuff at home, so I would just lay it on top. Instantly fixes the problem. To Justin's point about the map being a little congested, we did throw him into one of the more advanced maps.
We did.
Oh, really?
yeah, Bob and I played on the beginner map, and then an advanced map and stuff like that, and I played on a bunch of different maps when I did digital and stuff. And this one was just the one that was set up when Justin got here, and we're like, here, I'll teach you this game. So yes, this was a purposely congested map. Okay. They're not all like this, but I like it. One of the things that I really like about this game that is not original, right? It's not like it's the first game to do it, but I like that this game is an abstract strategy game that kind of tells you do not have to, but it is usually in your better interest to understand that sometimes you have to sacrifice your pieces or let the opponent score because it gives you the number advantage then. If I let you score, you now have 4 pieces to my 5, and I can easily now manipulate this game in my favor. Right? And it's a game that really wants you to understand that. Like, unless you're really good or just far outclass your opponent and can beat them with the 5v5, the game is telling you, no, let them get that point. They have no idea the mistake they're making by getting that point, right? And I really like that a lot. That's like the big highlight for me, other than just the theme of the sliding on ice. I really like that. There's a whole backstory to this. The other thing, I guess, was for this playmat. I mean, it's super nice, and I'll always take a playmat, right? But it does serve less purpose than it could. Like, I mean, technically, I think it is easier to slide on a playmat because the grip the tiles will have on the playmat versus a table. There is better grip there, so it does help.
Hold the tile in spot.
I kind of just wish, and I get it, this art is beautiful, and I totally get why they would show it off, even though we're totally covering it and you can't see it right now. I can't help but think it would have been nice to just have a map printed on the playmat so that people could play that map if they wanted and have a really nice, smooth sliding experience and really have fun with that. And then if you want a custom map, here's all the tiles. Build your own map. It's not going to have as nice of a slide to it, but again, you've seen me doing it. It does work. It's just you got to be a little careful. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. Rule book is literally like 2 pages.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see there's that,
the setup,
and then there's that, and then
options.
And then what the tiles do, right? Yeah. And then every other page is a map.
Maps.
So that's crazy. Also, Bob, are you gonna have trouble photocopying this?
No, yeah, it's gonna be super easy to do. Yeah, super easy.
So yeah, rule book is totally fine. No issues there. I guess the only thing is there's no components page, which you don't really need, but like,
some of these, some of those.
It's just nice to have a component page. And then the insert, as you can see from the top down, it's nothing fancy needed. I don't know if I would want more than that for a game like this. These things go in baggies, tiles go in the box. Super easy. So yeah, we're gonna rate this game. Bob, how do we rate this game?
So we're all gonna rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, and then we're gonna take all those scores and average them together. So that will be the score that you find on BGG and the different media apps, so that you know what the board game rundown in general has rated the game.
Oh yeah, I guess we didn't talk about also, by the way, these are really nice.
They are.
We didn't really talk about those.
Really,
but those
like
are
classic
really nice.
or not acrylic. They're
They
like
kind of remind me of Othello.
Othello or backgammon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
backgammon.
Yeah, so let's just start with Mr. New Guy,
with the new
Justin.
guy.
Me. All
Yeah,
right.
so if you were gonna rate this game, how would you rate it? What would you tell people?
I would probably, for a 2-player game, give this a 6.
A 6?
Solid 6.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yep. So above average.
Above average.
You liked it. You didn't love
I
it.
liked it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Also, though, do you tend to play a lot of games like chess and stuff like that?
I actually really enjoy chess. This is, for me, I feel kind of like an in-between chess and like checkers. Kind of like
sure.
what you were
Yep.
saying, where
Well, it's funny. Sorry to interrupt.
Fine.
That is literally Go Beat Go Games' thing. We talk about
really?
that all
Yeah,
the time. They're like, their thing is, well, we don't want to make a super advanced game because that cuts a lot of people out from enjoying it, but we don't want like a child's game.
Right.
And so like that's what Runes of Zun was that we talked about. Like Runes of Zun is like, well, it's not like this intense game, but it's also not Uno.
Right,
You know,
right.
like they and
It's
that's
like
kind of
in-between.
what they do is like,
Right.
let's make a game for the in-between crowd. So it's funny that you not knowing that say
Yeah,
that.
Say that.
that's kind of so. What you're saying is they nailed what they were trying to do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like more of the like chess or
He-
Seven Wonders
heavier-
Duel. A little more. You got to really plan ahead.
Right.
And granted, I also only played this one time
Sure.
on a
Exactly.
more advanced map, so
Yep.
take that with a grain of salt.
Exactly. Yes.
Mhm.
Anyone out there will understand all our different experiences and weigh that in, which is why we all give our own score.
Right.
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I would definitely like to play around with the map system. I like that you have the capability of being able to do that. I'm gonna go with a 7.5. I would recommend it. I'd like to have a copy of this in my collection because it's a nice small box game. We just had a little small box.
Yeah,
Top
I know.
10,
We
and
got
that
this
we
in.
Just missed it.
This
'cause
came
it
in the
probably
day
would've
before
made,
we did
yeah.
that, and I hadn't been able to play it yet. And I was like,
Mhm.
that probably
Probably would have made my
the
top 10.
list.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the 7.5 then.
Cool. I completely agree. For me, I would recommend the game. I give it a 7.5. Again, I tend to like crunchier games, especially so in the abstract strategy realm, which is something I don't love in general. I talk about that a lot. Something like Grand Gamers Guild's
Garinto?
like that has a really good weight to it to
Yep.
me. I find that a
A
good.
little bit more.
This is a
sink your teeth
little less than that, but again, the modular nature of this game, you can make this game as complicated as you want. You
Mhm.
build the map, and
Yeah.
and I have seen some really fun maps out there that really make you think. Like, yeah, this one was a little limiting on purpose.
Sure,
This
right.
one makes
Designed
you
to do
think,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
about where you're gonna. But there are some pieces that are so open with so many portals. Yeah, and it
Slide,
completely changed the feel of the game, and I think that itself deserves me upping it to the 7.5. I
Yeah.
agree with.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
If we take all of our scores, then we average them together. 7.
okay. A
Yeah,
7 out of
7.
10 for
7 out of 10 is
Nersha.
pretty solid.
Also, I don't know if I'll put it in the description or pin a comment, but I'm really interested in hearing what Tim thinks, since Tim has played it before this
Yeah,
as well.
mhm.
I want to see Tim play the physical version, and we'll get that out there somewhere because I'm interested in his opinion. But yeah, so we are
That
giving
makes one of you.
Exactly. Someone, at least one person wants to know his
Yeah,
opinion.
that's right.
Yeah. So
I want to know it, Tim.
Okay, so
Aw,
two.
two
Tim.
people.
Doubling up there.
Yeah, that's twice as many
many.
people. This has been Nersha from Gobiko Games. We are fans of Gobika. I think, again, they excel in trying to make a game for the middleman. You know,
Yeah.
the person who wants to upgrade from Uno but doesn't want to go straight to Magic the Gathering.
Right,
And,
yeah.
and that is what they do. And I
Yep.
think, again, they pull it off here if you're an abstract strategy gamer. I've been Dan.
And I've been Bob.
And I'm Justin.
This has been Nersha from the Board Game Rundown. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.